Evening, Heck. Come in.
Mr. Finch, news has gotten around the county about my bringing Tom Robinson back to the jail, and I've heard there might be trouble from the Cunningham's and that bunch out at Old Sarum.
Oh, Jim, you, Dill, and Scout run up to your room and play. I've got to talk to the sheriff. Have a seat, Heck.
No, sir, I won't take the time. Mr. Link Dees and some of the other prominent citizens around town heard about the Old Sarum bunch too, and they asked me to come to you and see if we can't hold up the trial for a while.
We've gotten one postponement of this case already just to make sure there's nothing to be uneasy about. You keep Tom one night, can't you? I don't think there's anybody in this town who will deny me a client with times this hard.
Nobody around here is up to anything, Mr. Finch. It's just that Old Sarum bunch we're worried about. You know how they are when they get stirred up. Why, that's why the men here in town think you should ask for another postponement. Mr. Link Dees even feels we should take him back to the Abbotsville jail tonight.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure. Link Dees doesn't even think I should have taken this trial in the first place. Heck, you know, the people in this town, the people out in Old Sarum, they wouldn't be upset if they didn't think I really intended to defend Tom Robinson. And that'll never change, Heck. Not if the trial is tomorrow, or if it's in 6 months, or if it's in a year. I'm going to defend him to the best of my ability. Now, he may go to the chair, Heck, but not until the truth is told. And you know what that truth is. Now, you go back and tell them that. I've got to get my children to bed.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, I would like to use my remaining time with you to remind you this case is not a difficult one. To begin with, the case should never have been brought to trial. The state has not produced one iota of medical evidence to the effect that the crime Tom Robinson is charged with ever took place. It has relied instead on the testimony of 2 witnesses whose evidence has been called into serious question on cross-examination and has been flatly contradicted by the defendant. Now, there is circumstantial evidence to indicate that Mayella Ewell was savagely beaten by someone who led almost exclusively with their left. But before you sits Tom Robinson with the only good hand he possesses, his right hand. Now, I have nothing but pity in my heart for the chief witness for this state. She's a victim. Cruel poverty and ignorance. But my pity does not extend so far as to her putting a man's life at stake, which is what she's done in an effort to rid herself of her guilt. Guilt, I say, gentlemen, because it was guilt that motivated her. She's committed no crime. She's broken the time-honored code of our society, a code so severe that anyone who breaks it is hounded from our midst as unfit to live with. And so she must destroy the evidence of her offense. And what is the evidence of her offense? Tom Robinson, a human being. She must put Tom Robinson away from her, because Tom Robinson is a daily reminder of what she did. And what did she do? She tempted a Negro. She's a white woman who tempted a black man. She did something unthinkable in our society. She kissed a black man, not an old uncle, but a strong young man. And no code mattered to her before she broke it, but it came crashing down on her afterwards. Now, the witnesses for the state have presented themselves to you gentlemen, to this court, in the cynical confidence that they cannot be doubted. Confident that you would go along with them in the assumption, the evil assumption, that all Negroes lie that all Negroes are basically immoral beings and that all Negro men cannot be trusted around our women. An assumption one associates with minds of their caliber. An assumption which we know is in itself a lie. I do not need to point this out to you. And so, before you sits a humble, quiet, respectable black man who had the unmitigated temerity to feel sorry for a white woman, and so has had to put his word against two white people's. The defendant is not guilty, but someone in this courtroom is. Now, in this country, the courts are the great levelers. In this country, all men are created equal. Now, I'm no idealist. The soundness of the court is no ideal to me. It's a living, working reality. The court is no better than you, gentlemen, sitting there on the jury. Court is no better than the men who make it up. But I am confident that you, gentlemen, will review without passion the evidence that has been set before you, and you will reach a decision to return this man to his family. In the name of God, do your duty. In the name of God, believe Tom Robinson.